Jesus and also the temptation of Jesus. All of the synoptic gospels. Who knows what the word, besides Phil? Who knows what the word synoptic, yeah, I can't even say it now. Synoptic means. Jenny?
Life. Sing together.
Sing together or life? Now stop arguing back and forth. Yeah, it means alike. So the synoptics, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, they're pretty much alike. They're not exactly alike, but they follow the same kind of framework. John is quite a bit different than those three. So in all three synoptic gospels, in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, this story is told. The baptism is told, and also the temptation in the wilderness is told. But Mark is the only one that runs the two together like this, that runs them right back together. Jesus no sooner gets out of the water of baptism, and the Spirit drives him into the wilderness where he's tempted by Satan, and where he's with wild beasts. That's not a good thing, by the way, being with wild beasts. When he's with the wild beasts in the wilderness. And I thought about that as I was thinking about what I might talk about this morning, coming into Lent in this particular passage that we're confronted with this morning. I thought, you know what? That sounds a lot like life. It sounds a lot like life. A lot of times we can be going great. Things can be going really well. We can be on mountaintop experiences. Remember last week we talked about the transfiguration of Jesus. That was our scripture. And we talked about how that was such a great experience. Not that Peter knew exactly what was going on and he kind of fudged it a little bit with what he was saying, but they actually got to see the glory of Jesus in his full deity. Just an amazing thing, a mountaintop experience. Many times we can be on mountaintop experiences, but they're often followed by not so good experiences. They're also followed by times where we can stumble and fall and, like Phil did, is choose evil. That's not the point of the story, I know. Anyway, but we can get on the wrong side of things. We can do things that aren't quite what needs to be done. And we can have a tough time. Now in this scripture, it says that Jesus was driven out into the wilderness. He was there for 40 days. Well, that's kind of like our Lent experience. We're getting ready to go to our first day. Or actually, no, Wednesday was our first day. But we're moving into Lent, through Lent, and it's a 40-day experience. It's a time where really we can be tempted. Many people choose to fast and to give something up. I know I'm picking on Phil today for some reason, but I guess that's because he's the only one who talks to me. So but I know Phil is giving up several things of which I would not even attempt to give up. And he's going to be tempted. It's going to be hard for him not to eat meat. Meat. He's giving up meat for Lent.
I felt that pain. I wanted to eat fried chicken yesterday.
He wanted his fried chicken yesterday, and he couldn't have it. So there's a sense of that time of temptation, but it's also going to be a time when we're tempted to do things. It's supposed to be a time of reflection for us as a church and as individuals as to our mortality, as to our sinfulness, as to our need for a holy God and redemption. A time for us to really recognize that we can't do this without God in our lives. A time to recognize that we can't walk the path that God has chosen for us. We can't walk the path that of following Jesus without some help, without the help of God in our lives. Now, in our scripture today, it talks about Jesus in the baptism. Now, was God with Jesus when he was baptized?
Yeah.
Any other comments? Yes? I got one yes. These aren't rhetorical questions, by the way. I'm really looking for you to say something. Yes! Well, how do we know that? Shh. How do we know that?
He spoke.
He spoke. He spoke. Now, only in Mark's version, only Jesus heard this, but he spoke. He spoke directly to Jesus. Now, we get to hear it because we're reading it. But he spoke directly to Jesus. He said, "You are my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased." But God was with Jesus in that mountaintop experience, in the baptism. When we have baptisms here, I mean, I'm just so excited about those. Infant baptism as well as adult baptisms. Yes, we do adult baptisms. If you weren't baptized as an infant, we will baptize you. We can dump a whole thing of water on your head, or we can take you out to a pool or whatever. But baptism